Hey TMP Insiders, Tracy Trost here, director of the movie Find Me. At different times people have asked us, what is it that Trost Moving Pictures does besides making movies? And one of the things that we get involved in, and we've been doing for quite a few years, is live television production. Today we are in Springfield, Missouri, and we're working with God TV and with the James River Assembly Church and doing a project called I Love America. James River Assembly puts this on every year, and they have between 100 and 150,000 people show up. And it's concerts and presentation and fireworks, and it's just a great show. This year, God TV is getting involved, and they're going to do broadcast it to their whole network, and they're using this event as kind of a background for a fundraising thing for Angel Missions. And Angel Missions is an organization that drills wells, freshwater wells in Africa. It's a great organization. So what I wanted to do today was just kind of take you on a little tour so you can see some of the other stuff we do. Behind me is the production truck that we'll be working out of. For this event, I kind of work in as project manager and as the director. So when we're directing the event's going on live, I'll be directing that calling camera. So I'm going to take you inside the truck and give you kind of a quick tour so you can see how things happen in the truck. All right? See you in a few. Okay, so here we are inside the truck, and what happens inside the truck, you see behind me is a monitor wall. On this monitor wall, I can see just about everything that's happening. You have the larger monitors are program and preview. Program is what's going out to air. Preview is what's going to be coming up next on air. At the station that I'm at, the director's station, next to me I have my assistant director, and then next to that is the technical director. The technical director pushes on the thing that's with the buttons, which you call the switcher, and he transitions the cameras from point to point. So I'm calling cameras. I'm looking at cameras on the monitor. I'll say, ready, we're going to go to camera 1. Ready, take 1. When I say take 1, he takes 1. If I want to do a dissolve, then he'll do a dissolve to camera 2 or 3, whatever it is. And we have many different sources. We have a thing called EVS, an electronic video server, which houses all of our tapes, and so if you see commercials being played or interstitials or anything that goes from one thing to another, those all come from that server. So there's many different sources. We have graphics, and on this show that we have an RF camera that is roaming around. We also have an uplink to Kenya, which will be a live uplink, and our talent will be able to talk back and forth to that. So basically, this is what we would call production, and production is the director, the assistant director, the technical director, producers, graphics, and so on and so forth. So I'll get some shots of all that stuff and let you see what that's all about. We are now standing in the audio booth, and this is where all the different sources of audio come in, and I'm using this console. They'll mix it down for our TV feeds. So all music, all talent, sources, tape sources, video sources. So all the audio comes into this location here and is then distributed through television, out to our satellite truck, up to the air to the bird, and then down to your TV. This area is what we call tape and playback and record. What can happen here is several different things. The EVSs are here, and that's where they'll do all the playback for our video roll-ins, and then there's all the record decks are here. I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Digibeta record decks, and we'll record program, and then we'll do ISOs. We'll isolate different cameras for editing in post. So this is tape, basically. This is engineering. What happens in engineering is where the truck engineers basically patch, and this is what we call a patch bay. If I want to run a signal from one VTR to a certain source on the switcher, you can patch here. They also have digital routing too, so you don't have to use a manual cable like this. So you can do it on a record panel and patch it digitally. But like if I'm bringing in a camera from another truck and I need to have it into my switcher, we would bring it into what's called a tie line into the side of the truck and then patch it to the switcher. So this area is kind of confusing. I kind of stay away from this area because I'm not qualified to touch any of this stuff. We are now in the video area, and what happens in the video area is camera control. Okay, when you have multiple cameras, like on this show we have 6 different cameras that we're using, and all the cameras have to look the same. The video levels have to be even, the black levels have to be even, and then the colors have to match. So when I'm switching from one camera to the next, my greens match, my blues match, my reds match. So if it's slightly off, most home viewers might not notice it, but it can become irritating as you're watching your show. So these guys use these control panels called CCUs, camera control units, and they can control all the functions of the camera. You have iris control, master black level. You can paint the cameras, is a term they use, called painting the cameras to make sure the colors all match. So all the camera control is done here. Okay, so that's the TV truck. What I want to do now is take you out to our stage where our talent will be. One thing you might hear a little humming right now, let's turn with me here. When we're doing remote shows like this, these things take an enormous amount of power. So we have a generator to generate power. I mean, this one is running this truck here. It's 200 amps, three-phase power. Later on today, our satellite truck will be coming in. That satellite truck is what we're going to use to uplink our signal to the bird, which comes to your house. But we're also hooking up with Kenya for our live uplink there too. So that satellite will have a dual purpose. So we have its own power as well, another 200 amps of power. So right now, let's head out over to the stage so you can see what we've done there. Okay, so here we are at the God TV stage. This is our main stage where we do all of our production. We will have the founder of God TV, Rory Alec, as talent, along with John Bongiorno, who is the president of Angel Missions. We will be bringing bands and different people in for interviews, and we'll pitch from this stage back to the live show and back. So let's take a walk up here and take a look at it. So here we are up on the stage. It's still early, so our stage is still packed out from last night. We have to prepare for all situations. When you do a show that's outside, you got to prepare for weather. So we have a roof up on the top, and we have sides to block sunlight and to block wind. We brought in some remote air conditioning units to blow air on the talent so they're not all sweaty and their makeup's not running all over the place. It's important to always think of these things when you're putting a show together, to be ready for everything. We wrap all our cables with plastic, all of our equipment is wrapped, so that if something happens as far as rain, we're prepared. So we'll just get a couple shots around the stage and you can see what we got going on here. Okay, so what we did here to help out with sound deadening is we've built these plexiglass walls, and we did some edging with the logo for God TV on the back. The backdrop for our talents, as you can see, is the stage for the show. Tonight this will be filled with, they're saying, up to 120,000 people, maybe more, that come out for the concerts, that come out for the fireworks. So our backdrop for our show is a sea of people with the bands going back and forth, and we'll go back and forth between our set show and then the live show. So there'll be music, and I know they have a 128-piece orchestra and things like that. So it's a pretty cool show. It's gonna be kind of fun. So here we are out in what we would call camera position number 8. It is the jib camera. We have a 30-foot jib coming out here, and that jib will be used to show all the broad, sweeping shots of the audience and the stage. I'm not sure if you can see it, but behind us is the stage. It's got the big flag, and that flag is actually a stage that they have people. You've seen like the living Christmas trees, you know, where they put people in it? Well, this is a big flag with 220-something people in it. I keep looking at Joe because I'm asking him, and he's holding the computer, so it doesn't make any sense for me to keep asking him. But anyhow, so we'll have our big camera out here to show all the, the broad, sweeping shots for the audience at home, so they can see the enormity of this project. But there you go. People are already showing up. It looks like it's gonna be fun. Right behind me is a well drilling rig. This is basically the same type of rig that they're going to have in Africa. They will be drilling a well during the event, and hopefully tonight in between bands they'll strike water, and we'll be able to see that here on the jumbo screens. So it's kind of a cool event tying in Africa and the well drilling and raising money for Angel Missions, and it's just really a fun event. So this is what we're doing on our 4th of July weekend. I hope you're enjoying your 4th of July weekend. You can get involved if you want to, and we're going to put some information on the screen. It's only $5, and $5 buys water for people who do not have clean drinking water. All right? Have a great weekend.